Welcome back to New to Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, you have seen that I have upgraded on some things. Finally got some pictures, got a new microphone from a resource that I was told by one of the listeners, hey, upgrade, invest in your own business. And so took that advice and I did. Again, that's why when I tell you guys that I love when you guys DM me, I want to get your feedback. I honestly mean it. That was somebody saying, hey, I don't think the microphone is the best. I think you could do a little better. So just invested into the business, invested into this podcast because again, I want to keep giving you guys the best possible content I can and keep you guys listening because again, I just want to be a resource and be able to help you guys. So if that's getting a better microphone, maybe making things a little prettier. But if you guys are watching, you will see I am no interior designer. Half my pictures are probably crooked. Yeah, that's not my strong suit. I just try to sell stuff. So, I'm going to have to get somebody who knows what they're doing and make this a little prettier. But I have some encouraging just quotes on the back, some rules to follow that I like to live by. And so again, just want to do a little investing. So again, if you guys are watching on the YouTube, let's get this out of the way. Watching on YouTube, press that like and subscribe button. Truly appreciate you guys and your support. If you're listening on the podcast, a 5-star review helps us grow this channel and help other people. If you guys can see, I'll go up. You see my I Broke In t-shirt. Again, I'm going to get this on the website just so you guys, if you do break in, you would like to get one. It's going to be just a little easier because I was buying them and then had some trouble with, getting it fulfilled with certain industries, or not industries, but certain companies. And so it's just gonna be easier if I can go third party and be able to do that. But I'll have a bunch of pictures of people breaking in, being able to take a picture with this shirt. It's awesome. I'm actually gonna be posting them, getting a new website done. So the website will have these pictures of everybody breaking in because I'm really excited about that. Just show everybody's hard work. And then again, just want to say thank you to everybody who gets on each week and everybody who's a new listener. Welcome. If you guys haven't, because I should say this, I probably have new listeners. As you guys are watching on YouTube, one of my posters just fell off. My gosh, that's how good of an interior designer I am. But with all the new listeners that we have here, if you guys haven't, go back, listen to my first episodes. You'll see when I was a personal trainer, I literally documented my whole journey of being a personal trainer into where I'm at now today, exceeding quota as a territory manager for one of the top companies in the world. You'll also just see my journey. I have vlogs on here so you guys can check that out. But I just want to say that because I've had a lot of new people be reaching out, which is great. But again, I usually have to direct them back to earlier podcasts because it will answer majority of your guys' questions. So feel free to go check those out before you guys reach out because again, I still love to talk with you, but I want you guys to get the most out of it. And so a lot of times people will reach out, they only listen to 2 or 3 episodes and they're asking me questions that they could probably get answered by other podcasts that I have here. I have over 90 now. This is the 91st. And again, I just want to be able to help you guys. So if you can listen to those questions and listen to those podcasts and answer your questions, then I can help you guys with your journey and those specific questions that you have. And that's what I want to do. So that's the goal. But today, you guys, I wanted to get into, it's been a while since I've done just a solo podcast and I wanted to get one out to you guys. And we're going to go over today exceeding quota tips and takeaways. So if you guys haven't heard on my other podcast, I have officially exceeded quota. Our year runs a little different. So this is our final month and I have already exceeded quota. I actually exceeded it last month. And so everything that I'm doing now is, bonus for me, but also for my territory. So it's really fun. I have papers hung up on my side that looking back, there I am, underline 66, 66. And I have written underneath in pen last place. And so to be able to be in the top 10 now, I'm running at over 120% to plan. And it's just been fun to see all that happen, to have some success. And, I always believed in myself, but, there was always some doubt from people. My manager even told me just a couple months ago, people were still calling other managers, asking how the kid with no experience was doing. So that's always fun. But again, you guys, I got these quotes on the back. Just again, it's stuff, you got to believe in yourself. You got to see what you're going to do before you do it. Even if you don't always believe it, I took over this territory and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I literally First day in, none of my stuff showed up on time. My training wasn't for another 2 weeks. My field sales trainer I didn't talk to for like a month in. And so I just say that with everybody is sometimes you just have to believe in yourself, figure it out, and you'll get through it. So I just say that because confidence is key. But again, just going over 5 takeaways that I've got for exceeding quota tips for you guys, and then takeaways I did. So number 1, just getting right into it. It doesn't happen overnight. You got to be consistent. So again, the thing I want to just talk with you guys is you're talking about a whole year, right? You get a big number. This is what you got to do. And then you can break it down into, each month. And each month you see what you have to do. And the thing is I told myself, especially that first 6 months when I was just getting started, I had to get my footing underneath me, is I'm just going to try to learn as much as I can and do something for my territory every single day that's going to help me in the future. So again, I didn't have the short-term mindset of like, I need to turn it around tomorrow, because I'm not going to. That's just the realistic truth, is it might take 3, 6, 9 months, a year to turn this territory around, which it did. And I was able to do it and have success with it. But it's because I had a long-term goal and I found small actions that I could do each day to go towards that big goal. So again, just knowing that it's not going to always happen overnight. You can do things daily, but know that it's going to take time, it's going to take work. And this is no different than you guys trying to break into medical device sales right now. I always tell everybody it's been fun to hear a lot of people breaking in and going through the journey. Even now I'm talking to a couple, and it's a roller coaster. And they tell that to me, and it's funny because those are my own words that I've used, is it's a roller coaster, up and down. One day you're on top of it, and it's no different than in my territory as well. But one day when you guys are going through the interview process, you get a call and you got an interview and you're like on top of the world. And then 2 days later, they're like, we're going with an internal candidate, sorry. And now you're back to square one, right? And you don't have any offers, and now it's like, okay, I got to start reaching out to more and more people, and it keeps going, right? It's no different than in my territory. There are days that are great. There are days where I had a huge sales day, everything went right. And then there's days that you get punched in the literal face and it's like, what is going on? What am I doing? And you have to have those reset days. So the thing I just want to encourage you guys, no matter whether it's you get into the territory or you're just trying to break in, it's not going to happen overnight. A lot of times I say this to a lot of people, you're not going to land the first interview that you're going for. And if you do, that's great. And I hope you do. But the reality of it is you don't know what the medical device sales interview process is like. You don't know the tough questions they're going to ask you. You might not have what they're looking for, or you don't know how to tell your answer of why you're the right candidate. And that just takes time. And it's what I always bring back to watching film. If you're an athlete, you watch film so you can watch it a couple times. So when you see it in the game, you're like, all right, let's do this, right? No different than when you guys are going through the interview process. First time I got a question, I was like a deer in the headlights. I probably didn't answer it the greatest. But then by the second or third, fourth time I saw that, knocked it out of the park, because I was like, I know this. I'm confident. I've had this question asked me before and I can hit it. So that's just something to just take away, whether it's in the territory or you're just going through the interview process. And again, for me, every single day, you had to come in with a goal, but there's some days that were great and there's some days that are not. But as long as I had the long-term goal and I was like, if I do something every single day to move the needle towards my goal, it's going to have success. And again, it's been fun to see that success, because even like the last 2 months of my quota, like last month, I 3x'd what my quota was supposed to be for the month to get me back, and I was falling a little bit behind. And so just being able to see all that hard work, those relationships that I had built, be able to come in and help turn this territory around. It's been a lot of fun, especially the last couple months, because I'm kind of reaping what I've sowed, right? I'm seeing all the fruit of my labor and seeing all the hard work really paying off. And then when you hit that quota and you get the email from the BP and from your regional manager and your team celebrates you, it's a good feeling, and it makes you know that, hey, you were doing something. So again, that's a nice feeling, no different than when you guys break in. It all pays off. Number 2, be a resource. And I have this one written down for, my goal when I'm in the OR every single time is, how can I be a resource to my doctor? How can I be a resource to my staff, to, anybody that I meet? Because that's my job. It's not to take the credit. It's not to act like I know everything. It's, hey, can I go grab, some saline or water, if you guys didn't know, certain packets? Can I go grab something that could help the nurse out if she's doing a bunch of other things? Can I go grab a tray if they forgot that? Can I bring some energy in, see if there's anything that I can help with? That's the number one. But then also like being with my doctors, knowing my product, knowing the procedure, having that conversation beforehand, and then being able to give them tips that might just help and just kind of see where the procedure is going, and then being like, hey doc, try this, and it works, right? That's literally just my job. And again, it's not to boast, it's not to say, hey, we did this great. It's literally just to be there, to be a resource and to help everybody else. And if you can do that, I promise you that people will remember you and they'll want to help you out. Because I took one of my top accounts now that when I first started really didn't like me. They didn't want to see me. And now I walk in and everybody says hi to me. I have a conversation with everybody, and it doesn't matter if it's, a nurse, the OR director, an SPD, or the janitor. Like, I talk with everybody because, I believe that nobody's above anybody, and we all have lessons that we can learn from every single human being we ever come in contact with. And again, just try to make someone's day. That's my goal, is just try, how can I be some energy in a positive light? And so, my goal is every time I walk out of that room, all they're saying is, man, Jacob is a resource, or Jacob's great. That's literally my only goal. And I do that by being a resource, by being positive, by being upbeat, by, just being able to read the situation. Emotional intelligence is huge in this career. And that's something that I've been very blessed with. I've worked on being a personal trainer, being able to read people. But I just want to encourage you guys to continue to work on that for yourself. If you're not best working with people, or you don't know how to read people, go start doing it. Go having random conversations with strangers. It's really uncomfortable. Welcome to sales. Welcome to medical device sales. I talk to a lot of people every single day. I have no idea who they are, and you just have to figure it out. But again, just going back to being a resource, how can you come in? How can you show that you're going to make a difference for them? And again, every time I've done stuff, I made a comment about this on a couple podcasts ago, but even now, as simple as this is I have my top doc who they love classical music. All right. So I go into the OR and I say, hey, turn on channel this. And they turn it on. And when my doctor walks in, she's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, great song choice. And every single time the nurses look at me and the scrub tech looks at me, and I say, well, doc, they know what you like and they've been getting really good at it. And they all smile at me, and the doc's like, I love that, And again, just pushing it back. It's not on me. It's giving them the love. And then it overflows because they know that you just helped them out, and they already started the day off good with that doctor, which is always a strong part. So again, as simple as that is, or just knowing the glove size of your physician, it may sound so dumb and so little, but it's going to make a big difference no matter if it's in your cases or just with the staff that you're working with. So being a resource, and let's bring it back to you guys in the interview process. You just need to show that, hey, you're going to figure stuff out. Hey, you're going to take notes. You're going to be able to come above and beyond and be better than anybody else that you're going up against. And how you do that is through your interview process. That's the thing I can't stress enough is most people are asking me, how do I stand out? It's through the process. Are you coming prepared? Are you having good questions? Do you have your resume printed out when you're meeting with these managers? Do you have questions that are specific that are going towards the job or the territory? What can you say to make yourself stand out? And it's by questions that you come prepared with, by talking to other reps before you talk to the manager, so you have an idea of the territory or of the products that you're going to be selling or selling against. It's simple things like that you can do, and just showing that you will be a resource once you get hired. And it's what I always tell people. You got to do the job to get the job. A lot of times, especially if you guys are like myself and didn't have that sales experience, a lot of times they're not going to believe in you. So what are you doing to help them believe in you? What are you doing to help yourself stand out? And if they just look at your resume, it's not going to be that great or that impressive, just like mine was. Like, I got told mine sucked all the time, right? But every single time I smiled and I said, but yet here I am sitting in front of you because I knew how to network. I knew how to come prepared. I knew how to keep getting pushed along the interview process because I kept saying the right things. I kept closing. I kept coming with good questions. And that's what you guys can do as well. So that's number 2. Again, always trying to relate it to where you can do in the territory, but also trying to get hired. Number 3, following up and communication. So Let's talk about this real quick. Following up communication, you have to do that in the interview process, but it's no different than when I get in the job. And again, that's why I tell you guys, you have to do it. And that's why they want you guys to do it. Is I've closed a couple big deals. I just closed a deal for over 50 grand. And it was one of those things to help me get over quota. And that job or that deal only happened because I kept following up. You know, they said it was going to be done in a month. It took actually 4 months, but it was because every week I was doing a check-in. Every week I was getting on a phone call with somebody. Hey, what can we do? Hey, we talked about this being done a month ago. It's now 2-3 months later. What are we doing? Hey, where is it at in the process? Who do I need to talk to help along and answer any questions? And you know, I did that for the 3 months, 4 months to be able to do that, as well as I drove out there and was able to show that I was going to be a resource. But again, it doesn't just happen overnight. No different than I've closed 3 big deals in the last month. Same thing, following up emails. Oh, hey, sorry, I forgot about this. Just closed another big consumable deal and it was already done, but like I had to follow up about the PO and they're like, oh, hey, sorry. Yeah, let me get that to you. If I wouldn't have messaged them, I just never would have got it. So again, that's where you guys have to be able to follow up. You have to be able to stay on top of what your big goals are and what your deals are doing. And that's how I closed the gap, right? I had it all written down. Hey, this still has to hit my numbers. This still has to close. These are my prospected stuff. And then going in and following up on them, making sure that I'm staying on top of it, and then communicating with who I needed to. And that sometimes is communicating with somebody. Somebody else told me, you know, like even with that big deal I just talked about, somebody told me, hey, go talk to these 3 people, which told me to talk to 2 more people. And I'm just on calls and emails going back and forth, and then finally getting in touch with the right person who then gets me put into the right contact, and we're able to push stuff along, and then eventually get the email like, hey, it's been cut, and you know, all that great stuff. But again, it doesn't happen by you just sitting on your hands and not doing anything. It was lots of calls. It was me checking in on a weekly basis, again, and knowing the fine line of not being annoying and being pushy, but also being like, hey, you know, I'm just trying to help you because this is going to help you and your facility, your staff, right? And this is what your physician's asking for. So just being able to show that you can be a resource, but also doing it in the right way, so you're not becoming overbearing or too much for these accounts. Because if that gets to that point, they're just going to kick you out, or they're just going to stop responding and block you because they don't want to deal with it and it's getting annoying for them. And again, even though us as sales reps think our job or our sale is the most important, these hospitals and directors and everybody have 100 different offers and sales that they have to go through. So you have to go around about it at a certain point in a certain way. But also for you guys, you know, same thing. Every time you talk with somebody, this isn't just in the interview process. Every time you reach out to somebody, you should always follow up, because this is my talk with everybody. You're going to get interviews and job offers because you're networking with somebody who liked you enough to put your name up. That's it. That's like, hey, do you know of anyone? Yeah, I actually had this kid, Jacob, reach out to me last week. He was a really sharp guy, did all the right things, and he sent a good follow-up message. Bam, here, show me his resume, right? Like, that's all it takes. So again, doing the job to get the job, you guys. You can't just do a call and then think that's good enough. Like, they're testing you every step of the way. Even just networking with people, it's a test. It's not just do it once and hey, there it is. Because even now, I say this to people who call me all the time, I'm networking even when I'm in this. I'm still like, I'm making these videos, I'm making podcasts, I'm doing calls with people every single day, and I'm still networking with people in the industry because it's always growing. I can learn more, I can network, I can make resources, and awesomely, or like the best part of it is like, I've made a lot of great friends, you know, like, and I like that too, finding people that are just like myself, driven, successful people that want more out of life. And so that's something that's been fun as well. But again, you guys have to follow up. You have to be able to communicate, because it's no different than what you get into the world and this territory and like how I've had it, because I'm talking with everybody and keeping up with everybody on a daily basis. Number 4, no different than anything else in life, you got to have a plan. Success doesn't just happen. You can talk to my manager, and what's happened and where I've had success is this has been planned out for the last year. I came in, and the first 6 months, I had a game plan. I was like, this is what I'm going to do to have success. And it's what I mentioned in my first year book. But what I go into detail is I knew my job was to get to know my accounts and just start learning stuff. it wasn't to make all these sales right away, right? Because I don't know enough. I'm going to get a lot of pushback and I don't know if I can talk to it. But what I can do is, hey, show that I am the new rep, that I'm going to show up, that I'm going to keep my word, that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. And then also keep following up and keep showing up and keep being a resource. And so having a game plan, having an attack plan, you guys have to have that. And so all my success has literally just been like, hey, there's a plan. And then even with like my sales, hey, this is my biggest one. This is my second biggest one. This is what's going to help me push over the edge. And just understanding that and knowing that for myself. And so you guys have to know what, maybe who's the contact you guys going to need to talk to. Who do you need to have a relationship or maybe send that follow-up text right now to that can help push you along the process. And it's no different than where I'm at now. I had a game plan. I said, hey, I need to do this. We knew how many doctors, that if I could convert these many doctors, I'd probably be in a pretty good position. Hey, if I got a couple things that I wasn't planning on, hey, that's just bonus. And that's what's happened. And you just keep sticking to the game plan and sticking to doing what's right and what you trust in your gut, and it all works out. But again, you can't go into these territories, especially like the lowest performing, and just be like, no, I'm just gonna freestyle it. I'm just gonna go on a whim. Like that doesn't work. You have to have a plan, because again, going back to, I'm doing something every single day that moves my territory in the long term. If you're just like, I'm just gonna show up here, 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 and here, but there's no strategy to it, it's really pointless, because yeah, you might get lucky, but what if you knew, if I stop at A, B, C, or D, and all of them, and then it's like, hey, if I just get one to hit, that's gonna affect my territory, rather than if I just go hit up 20 different accounts that might not have any volume, right? Like that's a real life thing that can happen. So you guys just have to have a plan and have your numbers. Like I have my monthly numbers that I needed every single month to be on track. And then I would just gauge it off that and then be able to be like, okay, I did this month, where could I do better? And always just reassessing, seeing where I can make improvements, but also like, the game plan might change a little bit. That's just life, because you reassess as you get more information, but you have to have a general plan and go towards it, because otherwise you're just running in circles and not knowing where to go. So again, same thing with you guys in the interview process. If you guys are doing that, you need to have a plan. Who should you be talking to? Where do you want to get to? Who's the most important people to talk to? Hey, who might have influence on these people? Can I go onto LinkedIn? Can I look at the connections? Can I see people that they might like, or mutual friends? Are they liking posts, right? Simple stuff like that you guys can do. They could be like, hey, this person communicates back and forth on LinkedIn, on messages. Well, maybe if I get on a call with them and talk with them, maybe they'll talk with this person, right? Like, it's a shot in the dark, but maybe it works. It's just things that you have to do to think outside of the box, but to get you to the overall goal, what you want to get. And then let's get into number 5. Roll with the punches. Mindset, I put positive. Now, number one thing I'm going to say is the reason I put mindset has to be positive is, I've stated it before, medical device sales is not sunshine and rainbows all day. I just had an event last week that was super stressful. Some things got said that were taken out of context. I was, getting on calls with major people in the hospital. They were not very happy with me. And, there's things that were in my control, but were really out of my control at out of the same point. And it's like, like maybe I messed up, maybe I didn't, you just doing that reflection, but also being like, hey, I'm just gonna I gotta make the positive of this. I can't change it. Even if I say my side, they're not gonna wanna hear it, because that was told to me that my side didn't matter. So they're just gonna go off of what someone else said. And again, I don't have any influence on that. And if I say anything, it's gonna just make it worse. So, that was a pretty stressful day, was getting on phone calls as well as running a territory, trying to do other things, getting calls at last second. But it happens, it's happened to me several times. And I talked to another rep who's a really good rep, and they said, hey, if you're a good rep, you're going to have these kind of scenarios, because it means you're pushing the envelope. You're not just taking it. You're not just getting beat up all the time. Because again, you can't just roll over and play dead all the time. You have to, stand your ground, and you have to do it. Yes, there's a certain way, and maybe I didn't handle it the best. And again, it's a learning moment for myself. But again, I just say that because there'll be days you get a text, hey, your top doctor's using somebody else. Oh, that's great. Okay, now I need to have a conversation, see where maybe I'm falling short, or is it the product? Is it even me? Is it is this even true? There's been so many times that I've been told that, and then it's just, the the competitors spreading rumors and saying things, and I just had one of my teammates say the exact same thing. Got a call from a hospital getting told that their top doctor is using our competitor, and then the rep talked to the doctor and they're like, I don't even know what that is. Like, no, I didn't, you know what I mean? So like, there's always just rolling with punches. There's back orders, there's, upper management, there's stuff like that sometimes is out of your control and you can't always do it. So you just have to roll with the punches. And also with that, there's deals that are supposed to close that don't close. There's deals that were like supposed to be in the pipeline and then they just fall out. Like I even had a deal, I talked about it was a pretty big deal, and I get a message and it was all going great and we were pushing it along, and then the OR director's like, no, we're just deciding to drop the plug. We don't want it anymore. Well, there's a opportunity that goes down the drain. Even if you try to talk to them, they have their reasoning. So again, I just say that roll with the punches. Not every day is great. Let's just be real. Not every day is great. But you got to keep showing up tomorrow. You never know. And again, some days just suck. That's just the truth. And some days are great. Some days are great and suck. It's ups and downs. But the reality of it is, you guys, is you're going to get punched in the face. And if you just fall down and you're the victim and you cry, this isn't your career. This isn't going to be, you're not going to be successful in it, because there's going to be people who sometimes just don't like you because you're a rep. That's the reality. There's going to be people who go out of their way to be rude to you because you're a rep. That's the reality. And if you're very sensitive and you take that to heart all the time, it's going to be really tough for you to like continue to grow, continue to keep pushing, continue to go and have success, because you're always having an excuse of they don't like me, right? And so I just say that no different than when you guys are going through the interview process. You're probably not going to land your first job, like I mentioned, right? Roll with the punches. You're going to get asked tough questions. You got to roll with the punches, and sometimes you are going to screw up, and let's just be straight up, you're going to suck. You're going to be like, man, I was not prepared for that. And there's two ways to look at it. You can either cry, feel bad for yourself, play the victim, which never works, or you can be like, well, don't want that to happen again. I'm going to come more prepared. I'm going to do more research. I'm going to get ready, and I'm going to get back at it, and I'm going to come and I'm going to knock the next one out of the park, right? There's two ways to look at it, and that's been my mindset, every single day. I know I don't know everything. I never claimed to know everything. But what I did claim is I'm going to work hard and I'm going to figure things out. And if I screw up, I'm going to not screw up again, And there's times that you just have to give it your best, and that's all you can do. So, those are my top 5, again, takeaways for hitting quota, exceeding quota. And those are my tips that I wanted to give to you guys, because again, it's no different than hitting it now. And then you guys trying to break in. It's the same stuff. It's the same crossover. And it's why I preach it to you guys every single day, because I wish I could say something different, but it's not. Because what I'm telling you guys to do to get into this career and in this industry is what you're going to have to do to be successful in this career and industry. And again, I will just state this lastly is, I get kickback all the time from people, not my listeners, but people in the industry. They're like, well, you only have a year and a half. Yeah, you haven't done this stuff. And this is my response. I don't need 10 years to get told no. I'm good. Like, I took the lowest performing territory in the nation to top 10. I'm good at what I do. Again, and that's not me being cocky. That's just the numbers speaking for itself. So I just say that is sometimes you have to have that confidence. People are going to always hate. People are going to tell me to suck. Like, I just had someone on my TikTok be like, whoa, bro, chill. You only have 1 year in the industry. Like, you're going. And I responded back. One of them I actually deleted because it doesn't do any good. It's like, that's an average response. I'm not trying to be average, right? Like, and if you guys are good luck. Like, I'm not trying to be average. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to be the best at everything I do. And you guys hear the passion in my voice. When I do anything, I'm going full throttle, because why the heck would I do anything else? Why am I just going to try to skate through life? It doesn't make any sense to me. If that's true, I don't know. Have a Red Bull, get some wings. I don't know, fly. But you guys, I just want to encourage you guys. You got to just keep rolling with the punches, and you got to have that tenacity to go after and get the life that you want. Because as you see the quotes that I have on my background and that have fallen on the ground, life is going to be tough. It's going to be hard. If you want something that you never had, you're going to have to go and do things you've never done before. And that's a quote right there. But it's also just for me to encourage you guys. This life is not easy. Medical device sales and outside of medical device sales, we're all going to have losses. We're all going to have wins, and you guys just have to go after it. And so I just want to encourage you guys, you go after the life you want, get it. Don't let anybody tell you what you can't have, because I got told a million times why I can't be in medical device sales. I got told why I want to be successful. And here I am standing in front of you guys telling you how I just broke top 10 in the nation, grew my territory over 200% in a year and a half. I'm running at 120 some percent to plan, because I believed in myself and I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. and somebody took a shot on me. And that's all you guys need. So I appreciate you guys if you've listened to this far. I appreciate you guys. Again, if you would like, press that like and subscribe button. A 5-star review helps us on the podcast. And then again, if you guys would like, grab a 30, 60, 90-day plan at newtomedicaldevicesales.com. You guys can also grab the book, New to Medical Device Sales, the guide for breaking in, and also First Year In, where I go into detail on how to break in and then also how I've had success in my first year. And then you guys can reach out to me on all the social medias at New to Medical Device Sales. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.